Okay, everybody, don't be hating on me, but I didn't shoot any video of this. I made a decision that I'm trying to work in between high heat and humidity or torrential downpours and tornadoes. And when I made the decision to go to Home Depot to pick up 2x4s to make my bed frame, it was a spur of the moment deal, and this is the result. I'm probably going to go with a memory foam mattress for my bed, and that was one of the reasons why I designed this the way that I did. I ended up putting my frame in and fastened it to the ribs of the van, and then I just kind of built off that. I ended up using 2x4s laying down on the flat side, as you see, for extra support. Not only that, but I left spaces so that I could have air circulation. These slats are not fastened down. They are removable for a reason, and that is so I can gain access to anything that might be in the garage area, and also I can take out as many as I want to give me full access to any electrical and solar equipment that I have underneath. I'll be the first to admit that I'm not real good at cutting angles or, making templates. Other than this spot, like right here over the wheel well, this scrap piece of plywood that I had left over from the floor went in pretty perfect as far as fitting in between the floor and underneath the bed frame. It's in there nice and tight and secure, and this is where I'm going to attach my MPPT controller and put my batteries down on the floor underneath here. And I think everything else is going to be mounted right up here for the solar and electrical. Today I received two more pieces to my solar setup for my van. These are the lead time, I believe that's how you pronounce it, 100 amp hour Life PO4 batteries. These were tested extensively by Will Prowse, whom I'm sure everybody knows that has anything to do with solar, and these came highly recommended by him. As you open the box, you get an informational packet on the top. Also a very, very big note here, sticker that tells you where your post bolts are. The battery inside is super lightweight and a very, very small size, so it's compact to fit just about anywhere. I was able to take both boxes because I ordered a set of two for a special price, and I was able to carry both boxes at the same time. That's how light these things are. These batteries, they are advertised as a group 24, but they will fit a group 27 and 31 battery box as well. You get up to 15,000 cycles, and I guess just the main feature is their size and the fact that they're ultra lightweight. For the pair of batteries, it came to $514.12, free shipping, but I had tax on top of that here in New York. Now that I mounted this piece of plywood on the back of the wheel well here underneath the bed frame, and now it gives me an opportunity to go ahead and start hooking up my electrical. I took my Life PO4 batteries and I put some furring strips around here and in between in order to give them some ventilation as well as secure them in place. And I ran the 10 gauge wire from my Renogy 200 watt solar panel down here to this 50 amp circuit breaker, and from there I'll go into the Renogy MPPT controller. Yep, little by little the solar and electric is getting done. Obviously everything's not hooked up yet, but I've got a start on it, and I've tried to install some things and neaten up wiring as I go along, but I don't think it'll take too much longer and I'll be done with that. I also have a Renogy 1000 watt pure sine wave inverter, and I do have the 2 gauge cables that are going to hook that up to my batteries. I'm just waiting at this point for two things. One is a circuit breaker that's going to go between the battery and the positive side of the inverter. And the other thing is, I'm not quite sure where I'm going to mount it yet. I want it to where the 110 volt outlets are going to be accessible for me, so that I can plug something in right here in the back of the van. It does have an on and off switch. It also has a remote control that comes with it. So I'm taking all this stuff into consideration before I go ahead and mount it. You've got a great channel here where the walls meet the roof, and it's great for running wires through. The only problem is it feels like it's smooth, but the edges are actually pretty sharp. And I found that out when I went to pull a length of wire through, and I saw some fine plastic shaving of the insulation. So anytime that I've got any wire that's coming out of this channel that runs through here, I end up running the wire through a short piece of this wire loom, plastic wire loom. It's got a split in it so that you can feed it around the wires, and then it just extends back in a ways so that it helps protect that wire so that it's not chafing on the edge, you know, while you're driving. Besides the plastic wire loom that I use to help protect the wires, you probably notice I also have a label maker, and I'll go through and I'll label my wires along the way, and also down at the fuse block to help identify what appliance they go to. Here's a little bit of an overview of my electrical / solar setup. I'm not completed yet. I'm still waiting on one more cable. And but here's what I've got so far. This is the 10 gauge wire that feeds in from my 200 watt Renogy solar panel that's up on the roof. Goes into a 50 amp circuit breaker, which then feeds around over here to the input of the Renogy 50 amp MPPT charge controller / DC to DC charge controller. I have two ground wires that are attached up here to the negative connection inside the MPPT controller. One is the 10 gauge wire that runs in from my solar panel, and the other one is a heavy ground wire that I've run up to the ground connection that the factory has installed on the back pillar by the back doors. There was a ground wire that I installed on my MPPT controller, and that runs back up here to the chassis ground that Chevy has provided for the electrical system. This is located on the rear pillar by the back doors. I then feed out of the positive output of the MPPT controller into a 50 amp circuit breaker, which then feeds to the positive terminal of one of the 100 amp hour batteries. I'm still waiting on a cable to connect this battery to this battery, and then this 2 gauge wire will then feed from there up to the positive bus bar. I do have my negatives hooked together, and I have run a negative cable up here to the negative bus bar. The fuse block that I've installed is 6 circuits, and I left myself enough room so if I wanted to expand to a 12 circuit fuse block, I would have plenty of room. This is rated for a maximum current of 100 amps, and each of the 6 circuits is rated for a maximum of 30 amps per circuit. This Renogy MPPT controller is a 50 amp. This was also an extensive test that was done by Will Prowse, and Will said that even though this will handle 600 watts of solar, he recommended keeping it at 400 watts of solar maximum, just so that you're not overloading the wiring. So that's all I got for you right now. If you like the video, please give a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe as I continue my van conversion and van build. As a side note, one of my subscribers contacted me and said that her daughter loves to watch my videos. So here's a big shout out to Natalie. Thank you for watching.